The creative problem in this project is to take a simple shape and use it as a motif in making a unique and elaborate design. So what is a motif? Looking carefully at this design drawn by an artist, we can see that the entire design is created by repeating this one simple shape in various directions. A motif, then, is a repeating element used as a theme in any work of art. Our first step will be to draw some random non-representational shapes around 3 to 4 inches. These shapes may be curved and wavy, or straight and angular. While you're drawing these shapes, simply think about making clear edges to your shapes and an interesting space within each enclosure. When you have a few shapes that you like and that you think are pretty well drawn, you'll get a cardboard rectangle and a few pieces of tracing paper. The size of your cardboard rectangle will be the size of your motif. In our case, this is a 3 by 4 rectangle. So trace this rectangle. So I've placed it on the tracing paper, and now I'm simply going around it with my pencil. Okay, next, place the tracing paper over your chosen shape and creatively place that shape within the rectangle. As you can see here, I've placed it pretty much in the center. In our case, we're going to try to avoid that because that's what most people would think of doing. So we're going to try to think of something different than that. So we're going to just simply move it into the corner or even put part of the shape on there. So take up, somewhere around 1/3 of the space at this point, and then trace that shape. What we're going to be doing is using this shape and parts of this shape to create an interesting design. Okay, next I'm going to add another part of the design. Okay, as part of our creative problem, we're going to be dealing with just shape and separate shapes. In other words, we're not going to overlap these shapes at all. So this is going to sort of force you to look at spacing as you are placing your shapes. So if I place the shape like this, I notice the space in between there. If I think that that is a good shape in between, then it's a good place to put to draw your next shape. So I think that looks pretty good. So I'm going to draw this part right here. Now already I've used the space in a pretty interesting way, but I'm going to add one last thing, and that is going to be to add some echoed shapes. An echo is a repetition or an imitation. So I'm going to basically imitate the edge of the shape, but not right next to it. Give it a little space in between because I'm trying to create nice spacing with each shape that I draw on here. So I've just drawn a shape there that echoes that edge. So I'm going to repeat that again. And again one more time, and that's in that area until I think I've got enough going on there. Then I'm going to go on to a different space, and I'm going to do that a little bit more. So this is going to add a little bit of variety to it. Instead of just repeating that same shape, these shapes are directly related to the original shape, but it's creating, some variety to what's going on within my design. So I'm going to keep going around different spaces and echoing what I see. And I can even go inside of a space here and create a shape that sort of echoes what's going on there. So when I think I've done enough, I should have some shapes that are broader, some shapes that are narrow, some that are a little bit smaller. Maybe I'll add one or two more into the corner here. Okay, once you're done one, then I'd like you to do a few more. Okay, this is a really good creative exercise, taking something very simple and trying to create some different ideas with that. So, all of these are done from these original shapes, but creating some different designs. And then after we have several done, and maybe anywhere 3 to 4 or 5, however many you can get done during this time period, then we're going to lay them out and decide which is the best one to use in our project.